Hey guys, so I want to welcome you to part 2 of the natural hair basics, where we're going to be talking about moisturizing, okay? But before I do that, just like I do in every video, I want to make sure that we prep you for the next part of this segment, okay? I brought my little book here so I can make sure. As I mentioned before, in this segment, we're going to be covering 5 main parts of the natural hair or the locked journey, okay? So far we've done cleansing, we're doing moisturizing, and in the next segment, we're going to be talking all about maintenance. We're going to be talking about all the things associated with that. So that'll include like retwisting your locks. That's going to include trimming your natural hair. We're going to be talking about a little bit of everything, okay? So feel free to drop any questions that you have about maintaining natural hair, maintaining locks, and everything that kind of comes along with that, okay? So let's go ahead and dive right into this video. Y'all, I am so hurt right now. I literally was almost done recording this video, only to realize that my camcorder was not recording. Okay, so here we go. This video is going to be on moisturizing, okay? Now, just like my old video, I really want to get started with this by first discussing why is moisturizing important and what is it, right? So moisturizing is going to be the process of ensuring that your hair is avoiding dryness by adding in additional hydrating products of some sort, okay? Now, the way you do that and all that's going to vary, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but we need to understand at its most basic level the process of adding moisture to your hair so that you may avoid dryness, all right? That's where we start. Why is it important, okay? The reason moisturizing is important is because that just like our skin, our hair needs a certain level of moisture or hydration in order to be able to be healthy, right? Avoiding like the cracks and the dryness on our skin. Same thing with our hair, having healthy hair strands, making sure that our hair does not have split ends and is breaking every time we try to style it or do anything, right? With loose naturals, maybe more of that combing, the manipulation in that way. With people with locks, doing your maintenance and really just anything with your locks. If your hair is not moisturized, you're going to run the risk of creating breakage and just having unhealthy and dry hair strands, okay? If you're trying to grow your hair out, especially, your hair has to be moisturized in order to thrive. It's like trying to grow a plant without water. It's not going to get far, right? It's not going to happen. So when we're talking about maintaining moisture, we're talking about both in your hair and in your scalp. Just like with plants, we're talking about at the roots as well as the length of the plant, okay? So I love to refer to, especially locks, as plants. Same thing with your loose and natural hair. If your scalp is healthy and you do the basics, your hair will grow and it will flourish, okay? Now, so we talked about why it's important, we've talked about what it is. Now we're gonna talk about the frequency of moisturizing. Now, I personally believe that this will vary based on person to person, okay? The fact is that there's different levels of moisturizing. We kind of have to start, daily routine or every couple day routine. Some of us have our actual wash day routine, and then we have like this sort of deep moisturizing routine, okay? So it really just depends on the needs of your hair. Is your hair damaged right now? Do you tend to like kind of over manipulate your hair? Do you live in a drier environment, or what season is it, right? Those type of factors will affect how much moisture your hair needs. What about like me, for example? If your hair is color treated, you know, if it has color or it's been processed in any kind of way, you need to be prepared to moisturize your hair more so that your hair will still properly grow and stay healthy. You can't expect to do these types of things to your hair and not have to kind of overcompensate a little bit later when it comes to maintaining the moisture levels in your hair, okay? So please understand that it will vary. However, I can't give you a timeline, but I will say that for my personal regimen, I try not to go more than once a week without doing any type of moisture. You know, I mean, even if it's just a quick spritz down, a light oil or something, a quick moisturizing product, something to my hair at least once a week, for me has worked throughout my entire journey of loose, natural, and locked hair. Adding some type of level of moisture to my hair has kept my hair healthy and has allowed it to grow. That's just my opinion. As I said before, I would go, in my cleansing video, I mentioned not going more than a month without trying to cleanse your hair and scalp. I think a safe way to do would be like, when you cleanse your hair and scalp, at a minimum, do that kind of medium level moisturizing. Even if you don't do necessarily some deep treatment every time, at a minimum, if you're going to be cleansing your scalp, you need to replenish your moisture balance by doing some level of moisturizing, conditioning, whatever you like to do for your hair, okay? So like I said, we talked about what moisturizing is. We've talked about why it's important. We've talked about the frequency. Now we're going to jump right into the different types of moisturizing, okay? We have like kind of our just basic every couple days moisture routine. Some people will simply wet their hair. You know, other people will go ahead and, you know, spritz their hair down with water, rose water, aloe vera juice and water, whatever, and they will add some kind of oil to seal that moisture in, okay? Other people might add water and some kind of moisturizing hair lotion or conditioner or whatever, leave-in conditioner, and then seal it in, okay? Now, we have to look at that kind of middle of the road moisturizing, which is going to be more like doing some kind of rinse out conditioner, maybe doing a hot oil treatment, you know, a quick one. Those types of things where you are really working to instill moisture in your hair or seal in the moisture in your hair, right? But what you're not doing is just doing some quick here and go, right? You're putting a little bit more effort into instilling moisture in your hair. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's and I'm not sure about the bentonite clay, which category that falls in of like cleanser versus moisturizer, but we have that, the hot oil treatments, we have the just regular rinse out conditioners, we have the what's the other one, I'm having a moment, just using aloe vera, like aloe vera plant as well, is another great way to instill moisture in your hair, especially when you're more of a loose natural. But so we have those, right? And then we have our deep moisturizing treatments. We're talking about the hot oil treatments where you bring out everything, okay? You heat the oil, you do everything. We're talking about our deep conditioning treatments, you know, the ones where you have to, the hair mask, where you put it on, you put a shower cap on, you got to leave this thing in for a while, you're sitting under the dryer, you know, you are really going all in to instill all the moisture in your hair, okay? Now, like I said, those deep moisturizing treatments are not necessarily going to need to be done all the time, but then again, whatever your hair needs are, right? If your hair is very damaged, you may need that. You know, you may need that, and it's okay to moisturize as long as you're not just going above and beyond, because then you don't want over manipulation to lead to breakage, right? So please take that into consideration. But just like with anything, a lot of this is going to be based on your own hair needs, what products you're comfortable with using in your own hair. Because some people with locks actually don't prefer to use conditioner in their hair. Maybe they don't like the way it feels, they're worried about buildup, maybe it made their hair unravel. I think I had another person on my previous video talk about that it made their hair unravel. And that's one of the things to consider. The earlier you are in your lock journey, that conditioner can be, it has the potential to make your hair unravel, but a lot of that also is depending on the method that you use, how fine your hair is. So you have to weigh that decision out for yourself, okay? That's really important. Then you have loose naturals who don't like to use certain oils or what things on their hair, right? So researching certain products and identifying what you feel comfortable with on your hair and what works the best for your hair. Now, before we jump into kind of hair porosity and moisture and that kind of thing, we really need to address the fact that moisture needs to be sealed into the hair, okay? A lot of times people will just add water to their hair and just leave it. But that, for most people, or a great deal of people, I won't say most, for a great deal of people, especially if you have high porosity hair, is not going to keep your hair moisturized. If anything, it might even feel drier after the fact, okay? So you have to be prepared for that. You have to understand that. And so sealing in the moisture just involves, once you have hydrated your hair, you've added some kind of moisture like water or rose water or whatever you decide. That means adding some kind of product, generally an oil, that can create a protective layer around your hair strand and prevent the moisture from evaporating out of your hair so quickly, okay? That the type that you will need will be totally based on your hair and its needs and what products you're comfortable with using. Personally, I found as a loose natural that olive oil was a bit heavy, but coconut oil was alright. You know, for me, shea butter was literally my best friend, which makes no sense because I feel like that's heavier than coconut oil, but it was my best friend, the best thing my hair ever had, I promise you. But with locks, I can't put that in my hair. I mean, I could, but it's solid in its natural state, like in its room temperature, so you can imagine what's going to happen in my locks. I'm not willing to take that risk. But at the same time, I had to find alternatives on what I could use to seal my hair. So if I can, I'll try to include them kind of rolling down this way. but I will list various products that you can use to seal. They will be more general. I'm not going to put like specific brands, but I'll tell you certain oils that I've personally tried that I felt like made a difference, and I will kind of break them up into light kind of sealants, into medium, and then kind of heavier sealants. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, to kind of end things up, addressing the question of hair porosity. Like I talked about in my other video, I broke down what low porosity hair was kind of like, what, you know, normal and versus high, okay? So with low porosity hair, because there is this huge barrier, like a stone wall that prevents anything really from getting in or out without effort, you're probably going to have to work a lot harder to make sure that the moisture you add actually penetrates your hair, rather than focusing on how much you need to seal. At this point, we're just trying to get the moisturizer in. We're not necessarily worried about it getting out, you know. It's like trying to put, you know, water through a cement wall, okay? Once it's in there, we're not necessarily worried about trying to make sure it doesn't come out, okay? So you might be the person who needs to steam their hair, who may have to sit under the dryer to make sure that the moisture penetrates their hair, okay? So if you're in the middle though, you kind of got a healthy balance, your hair is doing all right, you know, a basic moisturizing routine is not gonna be bad for you. You're probably fine, okay? But then of course on the opposite side of the spectrum with the high porosity hair, your hair is just like cheese or a sponge, you know, things come in and out, in and out, in and out. So reality is, it's not gonna take much for the moisture to penetrate your hair, but you need to seal it in. And so for you, you may have to really focus on finding an oil that works well enough with your hair to make sure the moisture does not escape. It's kind of like if you know, put water in your hair, you notice it just immediately, you probably got some high porosity hair. So, but that also means you have to work hard to make sure. And personally, I haven't done the actual like specific hair test, but I believe that I have high porosity hair. And I know that I have to work a lot harder to get my hair to actually retain the moisture rather than worrying about it getting in there. Cause like, I promise you, I could put a product here and it's gonna be, I'm exaggerating, but it would be in there, you know? So just kind of a quick recap. We've talked about exactly what moisturizing is. We talked about why is it important. We talked about the frequency that you need to moisturize your hair. We've talked about different options when moisturizing your hair, everything from hot oil treatments to you know, hair masks to deep conditioning treatments to just your overall rinse out or leave-in conditioners, okay? We also talked about, you know, maybe some differences when it comes to like locks versus loose natural hair, the importance of sealing, as well as we talked about how moisturizing and hair porosity are connected, guys. So I hope I covered everything. I'm sorry this video was a little bit long, but there was just a lot of information to cover. And I just want to thank you guys so much again for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And I just really, guys, you know, I'm so grateful that all you guys are coming to my channel. Like, I never thought this many people would be interested in what I had to say. I'm just being real with you, not trying to get all sappy and emotional. But I'm so grateful, and I just ask that you continue to keep watching and please stay involved with everything, guys. Okay? So thank you so much, and I will definitely catch you in the next one. Bye.